Welcome back, it's me, Lou. Okay, so just to warn you in advance, this is not a full unboxing and review. This is going to be strictly a mint on card review, so I will not be taking these out of the package. I'm sure if you hunt around on YouTube, you could probably find full reviews on these action figures. But for me, right now, we're just going to review these as they are in the box. So one thing I want to talk about specifically is we're going to be looking at the Masters of the Universe Classics Hoverbots. And the reason why I wanted to take this out and show them to you, because I wanted to bring up the discussion, is a toy like this something that you could combine or blend in with your Masters of the Universe Origins figures? To the best of my knowledge, I'm not sure if Mattel is producing hoverbots for the Origins line. I'm not sure if they talked about that at PowerCon or whatever. But this was something I had in my closet for a while. A few years ago, I started buying a couple of the Masters of the Universe Classics figures. I wasn't into them when they first came out, and I discovered them much later. So I've been kind of building up this tiny collection of Classics figures. And, one day I hope to have, a decent number. I'm not looking to buy the entire collection. That's ridiculous. I just want to buy a couple of key characters. But one thing I did want was hoverbots, because we never had hoverbots in the 80s when I was a kid. And when I got back into Masters of the Universe, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, I kind of felt that I needed hoverbots for my Masters of the Universe 2000 X collection. And I thought that the Classics would be like the perfect fit for that. And since I've been reviewing so much Origins toys, I was kind of wondering, I'm like, are these hoverbots something that could be, compatible with an Origins figure? So we're going to take a look at that. Is this something that, as an Origins fan, will you need something like this? I don't know. We'll see. So this is a mailer box. So back in the day, I believe the Classics line was a subscription-based service offered by Matty Collector, I think. It's like I said, I wasn't into Masters of the Universe during this time period. So if you could clarify that, leave a comment down below. But yeah, this is a mailer box. This is what they came shipped in to protect the actual packaging. It's very, plain. It's just a plain cardboard box. I bought this on Amazon like 3 or 4 years ago, and I believe I might have paid. It was very reasonable. I think it was maybe $28 or $30 for it. And I was kind of looking to buy more of these, but I kind of got sidetracked, and my little collection of Classics figures just stopped. So I think I was focusing on some other things at the time. All right, so we have the Masters of the Universe Classics Hoverbots, the evil, mindless robot goons. Okay, so if you remember the old cartoon, these were kind of like Skeletor's go-to henchmen, or they're kind of like cannon fodder. Essentially these are almost like stormtroopers. They're nameless. They're without character. They're kind of just drones. And it's something that I was kind of wondering that, even though these are to scale with the much larger Classics figures, I think those were 6 to 7 inch figures. Is something like this something that's compatible with the Origins toys? For me, I believe so. Even though they're a little bit larger, I think just because that they're not, the typical body type that an Origins figure is, since these are robots, since these are drones, I think it's perfectly acceptable to blend these in with your Origins figures. Especially since they're, these are still made by Mattel, so these are still related, hypothetically speaking. So let's take a look at them. So this package is a 3-pack, so if you bought one of these, you got 3 hoverbots, which is awesome. That's why it was so easy to army build these, because if you bought multiple packs, it's so easy to immediately double it. You buy 2 of these, and next thing you know, you have 6. You buy 3, you have 9. So it's a very affordable, cool way to troop build, especially if you wanted Skeletor to have a larger armor besides his standard henchmen. Hoverbots was a cool alternative. The package design's nice. I always enjoyed the classic stuff. It's really cool. It's also kind of odd that since these were subscription-based figures, that these aren't meant for retail. So for me, it's odd not seeing a hook at the top of the card. You know, I'm so used to seeing like a J hook or like a butterfly hook at the top. But since these are not retail figures, you're gonna be missing that. But the package design is awesome. I love it how it kind of like emulates Castle Grayskull. And on the back, Masters of the Universe Classics. Here's some of the other figures: He-Man, Stratos, Skeletor, the Hoverbots, Beastman, and Merman. So I kind of regret that I was never into Masters of the Universe during this time. As I've stated, oh, I take it back. Here's the actual tab. It flips up. I didn't catch that. Yeah, so they actually do have a plastic J hook up here. So if you fold this out, you can actually hang this on a peg. That's awesome. All right, so back to what I was saying. You know, during the Classics era, I wasn't collecting Masters at the time. The last time I collected Masters was at the 2000X line. And I stuck with that early on, but then towards the end, especially when they're doing the Snake Men kind of stuff, a lot of those figures were hard for me to find. So I kind of like bowed out at a certain point, and I started focusing, I think, on Transformers at the time. But I had friends who were into Classics, and I remember like seeing photos of their collections, and I was so jealous of them because they made so many different characters, and it was really cool. And I think at some point when Matty Collector stopped, I believe Super 7 picked up the reins and did Classics for a couple of years, and I do have some of those. But yeah, I think my hopes is eventually I do want to collect some Classics line. Maybe get 10 heroes, 10 villains, and just call it a day. But back to the Hoverbots. So we have the Hoverbots, the evil, mindless robot goons. During his campaign of terror against King Randor's Masters of the Universe, Skeletor often utilized robotic hover drones to carry out his evil stratagems. Based on a design he proliferated from his dark arts teacher Hordak, Skeletor's drones were more agile than his mentors and carried a built-in hover field to increase their mobility and durability. Hoverbots will effortlessly carry out any order, including self-destruction. These Technobots of terror carry a variety of weapons, including laser rifles, blade blasters, and net lassos. Often on the front lines of battle, Hoverbots confront the Masters of the Universe in endless combat. So yeah, I mean, there is the call out to Hordak, especially if you look at the top of their domes. The top of their heads is very reminiscent of like a Horde Trooper. And it's neat. So if you do an image search on Google for these figures, you'll see that these action figures actually come with flight stands at the bottom. They're clear bases, clear posts. So you mount the figures on top, and these figures take on the appearance that they're hovering. I looked up some images, and I think my only issue with trying to fit these in with Origins is that since these are larger scale to begin with, I think the flight stands might be a little bit too long, so they might be hovering a little bit higher than you'd like. But they're nice action figures. They're articulated at the arms and at the elbows. The arms rotate up. They can rotate out, as you can see here with the hinge. It looks like they have elbow articulation. And they have two different hands. One's kind of like splayed out like a propeller, like a bladed propeller. The other one's in a claw motion, and they alternate the hands on each figure. So on their chest, they kind of have this lenticular display. So I think if you look at it, if you look here on this one, depending on the angle you view it at, it's going to change appearance. So that's really neat. Kind of like brings the figure to life. I want to say I think their heads might be articulated because this one's a little bit off center. So I believe their heads might be able to rotate a little, almost kind of like R2-D2. All right, so the big question at hand is this something you want to incorporate into your Masters of the Universe Origins line? So this action figure is dated 2014. So you're looking at an action figure that's close to 7 to 8 years old. But aesthetically, is this something that you want to mix in with Origins? In my opinion, until Mattel gives us official Origins Hoverbots, I think it's perfectly cool to mix these in. In fact, I encourage it. For one, it's an easy army builder. I'm not sure of the current price of these on the market right now, but if you can find these at a reasonable price on eBay or some other seller or whatever, I think it's a great deal. You can easily army build them. In terms of the scale, here's Origins Man-at-Arms. And just looking at it, I think it's a decent scale. You know, is it too big? Maybe by a little bit. Or, you know, in some cases, you know, you could argue it's perfect. You know, for me, you know, if you want Skeletor to have a larger army besides his standard henchmen, I think the hoverbots are a great way to go. And it's a great alternative. As I stated before, these figures have been around for years. So I'm sure if you hunt around on eBay or whatever, or like Facebook Marketplace, you know, or if you belong to like a fan group, you could probably like, you know, ask around on the forums if people have these or if they're willing to give them up or sell them, because I think they're wonderful. And you know, it's great. It doesn't hurt to give Skeletor more bad guys in his army, and I think the hoverbots is a great solution to that. And the scale's nice. I think the scale's pretty decent. Again, I'm not sure of how tall they'll stand once you attach the flight stand, so you might want to Google search that and check out images. But I do think it's a decent size. They look wonderful. They look very true to the cartoon, as you can see here. So yeah, I encourage you. If you can find these, definitely check them out. Add them to your Origins collection until we get official ones, and I don't think you'll regret it whatsoever. Alright, so with that being said, once again, my name is Lou. I apologize for this not being a complete full review. Like I said, you know, I just wanted to review these mint on card as they are, and just to bring up the discussion of whether or not this is something you should consider buying if you're an Origins fan. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for your likes, comments, and support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, take care of yourself, be safe, and most importantly, be happy. Alright, I'll see you at the next video. Bye.